I'm going to give you the path to victory right now if you want it. I will give you the path to victory right now.
Okay, tell me what you think it is, but I'll tell you what reality is, and he's
And I'll
screwed
give you
if
reality.
reality goes the way that reality's gonna go. All right, go
I'm going
ahead.
to give you reality. And look,
Okay,
I've
no,
been
you're
through
gonna tell
this.
me what you think. You
No,
think
no,
is the path to
I've been through
victory.
this. I've
Path
been
to
through this
victory for
in
him is not a
2016.
reality. Okay,
Let me give it to you.
all right, let's hear it.
Now, two pieces: actual victory, and then what we as independents, third parties, libertarians would consider victory too. So there's two levels. I'll give you actual and then just a victory in general. If he just gets 5%, nothing else, just breaks 5% overall in the country, which is nowhere near unrealistic. At his height, he was polling at 19%. So if he just breaks 5% across the country, officially he will have qualified for matching funds for a presidential election in 2028.
He has to
Just
create a
doing that,
political party. He has to create a political party
oh,
in order to do that.
gotta let me finish. Just doing that makes news, makes people think, oh my God, he could actually do something. Wow, that will motivate independents throughout the entire country. That will make lawsuits. That will say the We the People Party is that party. There will be lawsuits saying that We the People Party is the party that deserves that. That will happen. That movement is better than anyone else has done anything since Ross Perot. So just 5%, which is very doable, and in fact, probable that he can break 5%. I mean, most people would agree with that. He breaks 5%, that happens. That's a win in itself. He breaks a hole that the rest of us can run through. That's
Okay,
number one.
okay.
Second piece, what if he just wins one state? Just one. He wins, say, for example, Utah. Utah is 4-1, Republican and Democrat. 4-1. Democrats don't even bother running candidates half the time. They didn't run a senatorial candidate last time. An independent ran in Utah last time. They're so broken. Utah Republicans don't like Trump. That's why they have you know who, Mitt Romney, as their senator. Now, in a three-way race, all Bobby Kennedy has to do is get 36% of the vote, 35, 36% of the vote, and he wins. The last independent broke 40%. That was just recently in the senatorial race in 2022, broke 40%. He gets 36% in Utah. He wins Utah. What does that mean? He's got 5% across the country and a purple state on that map that shows red and blue and one purple splotch for the next 4 years. What does that do? That motivates every single independent across his Canada to go, I can win. I can raise money. Your mayor will become independent. Your city council will become independent. Your state senator will become independent. Independent parties will explode. It will break the system. Yet again, he breaks the system. Why do you think Democrats and Republicans care so much? Because they know what I know. They know that is real. They know that could actually happen and it will devastate them. Otherwise, they let them go. You know the odds of him getting 270 are astronomical. He's not getting 270 electoral. It's astronomical. Of course, we all know that. So leave him alone. Let him fail. They let Gary Johnson fail. They let Jill Stein fail. They let all. Why not let him fail? Because what I just said is real. And let me go to the next piece. Here's the actual path to victory. What if he wins just 4 states? Maybe 5. What if he
Which
wins?
states would he possibly win at this
I will
point?
give you the states. You thought I
Okay.
wasn't ready for this, Kim. I am so ready for this. I'm prepared.
What are the states that he could possibly
I'll give
actually
you
win? Okay.
Alaska, number 1.
Okay.
Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Hampshire. I just gave you 5.
You think that he's polling so high in those 5 states he could actually beat Trump and
You,
Harris?
you only need 35, 36%, and he can raise enough money to put into those 3 or 4 states to do it. Yes. And here's another reason why. A lot of these states, Democrats, Republicans aren't prepared to spend any money in them. Why would they? They know it's a done deal. Like Republicans going to spend money in Alaska. Republicans going to spend money in Utah. They're not. They're not ready for that. He drops cash in those states, they have to scramble. They're not ready for that. If he wins those 4 or 5 states, guess what could happen? And this is really could happen. Nobody gets 270 votes. Nobody does. Harris
Right.
doesn't. Trump doesn't. Immediately what happens is it goes to a contingent election. 12th Amendment kicks in. It goes to Congress. The incoming Congress in January picks the president based upon each state gets only 1 vote. Wyoming is as powerful as California. Rhode Island is as powerful as Texas. 1 vote per state. Whoever gets 26 votes wins. DC cannot vote. Puerto Rico can't vote. Virgin Islands can't vote. It's 12th Amendment. And believe it or not, Thomas Jefferson was elected this way. And so was John Quincy Adams. This has already happened. Now, the odds are if anyone has 26 states, it'll be Trump. If someone has 26 states. If Trump doesn't have 26 states, now the horse trading begins. And when horse trading begins, who has a better shot? Only Bobby Kennedy will go, I'll take 3 Republicans to put into my cabinet, 3 Democrats put in my cabinet, 2 of that. They start horse trading for the next 2 months. January comes, he's the only candidate who can horse trade to become a compromise candidate. he actually wins the presidency if these things happen. I gave you 3 different pathways, 2 to impact, which I consider victory, because that breaks a hole for the rest of us, and then an actual pathway to victory. And here's the number one piece I just told you. No one's ever said this to you before, this style before, because this amount of impact and the actual path to victory hasn't been true since Lincoln when he destroyed the Whigs. That's how important this is. And everyone else who tells you, well, we got to do this, we got to do that, they're all fooling themselves.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change. Nothing changes unless he makes impact.
Right. The gamble, Larry, and I think this is a very large gamble. The gamble is that
Agreed.
he doesn't have that none of those pan out. Or maybe they do, but even if they do, it doesn't really matter. If Trump loses, I'll tell you what, the gamble is if Trump loses. If Trump loses and Harris becomes president, everybody will turn on Kennedy. He will lose so many of the people that he will just lose a lot of people. I mean, he just won't be able to gain enough ground in order to really, truly have a shot in 2028. I mean, my
Do you
personal
think he doesn't know that?
what's that?
Do you think he doesn't know that?
Oh, I think he knows that. So I think it's a very large
And
gamble.
he's
I think
still
that's why he's
prepared to roll the dice and make change in this country. How many people would do that? How many people recognize that if they push forward and get their butt kicked and maybe wreck their future, but would break a hole for others in this country, for third parties to actually do something? There's very few people on this planet who can and would do that. He is the one right now who will do that. You are correct in what you're saying. I agree.
I think what we've seen, it's very difficult to break the duopoly. There's no doubt about
Yes.
that. And we would love nothing more but to see that happen. But there is something happening on the Republican side. The Democrats have really shored themselves up and made sure that they're undemocratic in every possible way so that they can't be infiltrated the same way that Trump infiltrated the Republican Party.
Correct.
And I think that if Bobby Kennedy wants to make, he was hoping to try to do the same sort of thing to the Democratic Party, reform it, change it, right? There's no way to do that there. They're so corrupt, they're so crooked. But there is
True.
still a chance on the Republican side. I do
No, there
think
isn't.
that, I think the Republican side is still the base is turning on the Republicans. The
The
base is,
Republicans sued me off the ballot in
I get it. I get
2022.
that I get that but they're changing. They have to change because their base has changed. So if they want to continue getting votes, they've tried running these establishment candidates and they're not working. I mean, Trump still beat out Nikki Haley by a lot. So
Youngkin
people
won.
are, what's that?
Youngkin won. He's establishment. Establishment Republicans still win.
Yeah, in areas where establishment Republicans most of them are
Yeah.
running as establishment. They still have to adopt some Trump talking points in order to be recognized at all a little bit. I mean,
I
they could
guess
kind of,
talking
they have
points.
to,
They don't do
like, look
anything.
at Ron DeSantis. He kind of did this anti-establishment thing, adopting Trump's talking points, and then he kind of flipped and became more of an establishment guy when he realized he had bigger ambitions than just being governor of Florida. So they definitely, but there's a chance there that party could be completely reformed.
No, there isn't.
There
None.
is. I
Zero.
still think that there is. There is still a chance.
What the establishment Republican to this day, the leadership of the Republican Party still hates Trump.
Yeah, I know they do.
The
But
average
but the
person,
voting base knows
Republican, loves
this.
Trump.
Right,
Yes, yes.
but the vote
But-
and Trump is the nominee, so the average person won out. So that's what I'm saying is that the Republican Party, they're gritting their teeth, they're trying to fight back, they're kicking and screaming, but it's not
Yep.
working on their side. They're not willing to go to the same yet. Now that could change, and if it changes, then you're right, there will be no option. But right now, they have not gone as full crazy as Democrats have, where they've just locked down and given up on democracy entirely.
But you're missing on
Republicans
two
are
things,
not
though.
quite doing
Hold
that
on.
yet.
Hold on. 2 things you're missing. One, Republicans didn't. Okay, 2 things you got to remember here. Number 1, the Republican Party screwed up in their minds, not the American people's minds, by letting Trump move on. Trump
Right.
is an anomaly. This guy is the norm. The rest of the party hasn't become him. Again,
That's what they think.
The average person has. When Trump goes away, whenever he does, whether he runs on whatever, eventually goes away. When that happens, you're going to watch the Republican Party go right back to the elites.
It won't.
You're
I don't
waiting.
think it
They
doesn't
can't
have to.
wait to.
It doesn't have
But
to.
yes, they
I think
do.
that
But let
Bobby
me-
Kennedy
hold
could
on, I gotta-
run as a
let-
Republican
hold on.
next time,
Let-
and actually there would be change. Even Tulsi Gabbard could run in 2028 as a Republican this next time, and there would be a significant difference in the rhetoric, even if I hate both of their stances on Israel. They're both terrible on that one topic. But other
You're
than
right.
that, they are talking about the deep state. They are talking about
It's
the
true.
three-letter agencies. They are talking about they're talking about a lot of the right things. And I think that movement has happened inside of the Republican Party. And
Look,
I think the
hope
ship
you're
has sailed
right,
and
but
Republicans can't do anything about it at this point.
I think Ron Paul would tell you are wrong. But I hope you're right. He tried running. They threw him out. Rand Paul threw him
But
out,
that
right?
was then. This is now.
They
This
threw
is
out,
now.
they threw out Justin Amash running in Michigan. He couldn't
But
win.
that was then. Things have changed, and things change so fast. Look at Thomas
This
Massey. He
year.
was able
No, what do
to
you mean?
win.
That was
Thomas
last
Massey.
week. Hold on. Amash lost last week.
Oh, but he was
That's
running
not-
as an independent. I don't think he ran
No,
as
he
a Republican.
wasn't. He was running as a Republican in Michigan.
No way. Was he? Oh, in Michigan as a
Yes.
Republican. Really? Amash?
Yes.
I didn't know he was
He
running.
lost last week. Yes, this is last week. And Massey, AIPAC went after him like there's no tomorrow. The Republicans only gave up when they realized that he was too strong for them. Massey's also an anomaly. Come on now. The Republican Party is not all of a sudden great. It's just as bad. They don't have any their policy, their party platform is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Whatever he says, basically the word of the king is law. That is what the Republican Party has done. And they will keep the people in the Republican Party because, to your point, the Democrats have gone so far nuts that people go, you know what? I'm not going to be nutty. I don't care who the Republicans run. I'm just voting Republican. So the Republicans will see that, and they will begin to ignore everything that they tell you. Why? Let me go back one more time. The last 20 years in America, the Democrats and Republicans, both of them, have owned at one time the House, the Senate, the presidency, and Supreme Court. They've owned all four, both of them. If you're a Democrat, where's your Medicare for all? Nowhere, right? Where's your minimum wage? Nowhere, right? If you're a Republican, where's your balanced budget amendment? Nowhere. Where's your fixing the border? Nowhere. You've all had it, and they won't fix it. They will never fix it as long as it's only a two-party system. Because as long as they say other guy bad, you're going to say that other guy is bad and vote for them.
Okay,
Third party is the only way to make this work.
Okay, I just had to look this up because this was Justin Amash. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so he got defeated. You're right. He was a distant second recently, but that's because Justin Amash, if you remember, was a never Trumper. He left the Republican Party while he was in government because he hated Trump so much, and he got defeated by a Trumper. So actually, so Justin is only, in my mind, good on one topic, and that is Israel-Palestine, because he's a Palestinian. His family's been killed in Gaza. Right, he's a libertarian, right? But he's got so many.
Default makes him awesome, Kim.
Which is what?
Which by default makes him awesome being a libertarian.
But he still got, but to the point that I was making. So this actually kind of proves my point more than it does yours, Larry, is that he got defeated by a Trumper. Hey guys, this was just a clip of a longer show. Catch the full show by going to KimIversonShow.com. It is free. It airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. You could go back now and watch this full interview. I highly recommend it. Again, go to KimIversonShow.com. Thank you so much for watching.